And it's time to look back on it and find out here in the Analysis Hub exactly how Patrick Mullins won the Grand National for his father. That one meant a lot, didn't it?
Oh, it meant a lot to everybody. It's magic, absolutely magic. But there's a whole race to discuss, Ollie.
There
so
sure
let's
is.
go and have a look at it. I always believe when you get to the start of any race, you should line up where there's less horses. That was on the right of this race. I mean, look, there's your winner. And the third is right beside him in the red colours. The second and fourth are down here in the white cap and the blue cap. But to me, he was always go where there's less horses. Patrick Mullins said he almost got too good a start. And you can see the horses on the right-hand side were well ahead of the horses on the left. There's too many of them down the inside. They're stopping each other. Whereas on the right-hand side, those horses have room to gallop into. 300 through 5, Hewick, Stumptown across the front. Not Stumptown, Broadway Boy across the front. And Nick Rocket pinged the first. Manila Cocooner in the purple colours. Middle ear shot, purple with the white cap. Manila Cocooner launches at the first with Johnny Burke and lands in a heap at the back of it.
He's actually run really well considered because he made a few mistakes on the way around.
He did make a few mistakes. Now Stumptown here, Keith Donoghue down towards the inside in the green colours. He does not great at the second fence and he actually never got in a rhythm. Stumptown makes a mistake here on the Keith, jumps across in front of Manila Indo, who bumps into Appreciated, and that knock-on effect is into Twig on the outside. So, you know, Stumptown's race was never really going to plan.
We lose one at the third, and that's Duffelcoat.
Duffelcoat, yeah, landed on the ditch, and the blue colours down the bottom. Stumptown made a bad mistake as well. They're back towards the middle right here shot. Stumptown takes off in the dark green colours. He lands on it. Duffelcoat lands on it and just sends his rider to orbit.
That was an independent mistake from Stumptown, wasn't it?
That's what happens though. That's what this place does. Stay away, Faye, in blue colours, so wherever I can find him out here. Made a small mistake there, but again, he was struggling. And Cocoa Beach at the very back, the grey horse, he never really got going, did he, Ollie?
He was running in his fourth national, Cocoa Beach, but he was never really travelling today.
No, he wasn't. He didn't like it the first two times either. But look, Broadway Boy's got a great gallop. Twig or Hewick is outside him, and they went a really good gallop here, and they strung them out the pace of the race.
We heard about the race IQ stats from Adele. That was the first slight mistake from Iron Maximus at 5.
It was. Paul Townend's in a very similar position to where he was last year. Bo Port is just in front of Nick Rocket as they head down to Beecher's Brook. Iron Maximus pings it down the inside. Grange-Clare West made a little mistake, but no, they all got over Beecher's, I'd say, pretty happily. 3-car Bragg in second. Iron Maximus down the inside with the white cap. No one really.
Well, Nick Rocket slightly corkscrewed there.
Slightly corkscrewed, but not overly bad. Fine Avon and Broadway Boy in front. He just launched at it and made a slight mistake. But I'd imagine at this stage, Ollie, Paul Townend would have been really happy as to where he was. Fine Avon, you can see Broadway Boy, he gets quite low. Boy Maximus jumps through on the inside in the white cap. And I'd imagine Paul, Manila Indo on the maroon colours in the middle, a little bit jittery. Canal Turn, watch how far they all go right. It's like, it's great riding, and especially for the person in front. They have to make the line for everybody else. And Tom Bellamy made a great line. Vanillier and the grey horse, he cut the corner really tight. That's great riding from Sean Flanagan, but it's hardest for the guy in front to cut that line properly.
It's amazing when you see how congested they get at Canal Turn. Now, early on in the race, the grey at the back in the green colours, Intense Raffles, one of the big fancies. He wasn't really going today.
He was never going, but all Intense Raffles' form, Ollie, was on soft ground, and you can see with the pace of this race down here at the bottom, he's going nowhere, and that's where we lost Percival de Galwa. Green cap, white star, about to take off now. Middle ear shot, catches it, knuckles over. He just got too high behind. It's a funny thing to say about the change in fences, but if you actually get too high behind, gravity just takes over, and that was the end of Percival de Galwa's race. Manila Cocooner jumping through in the purple was fine there, and you know, there's a few guys struggling. Appreciated Monbeg Genius, Intense Raffles, so I'm going to call Fusil Raffles at some point. He was struggling from very early on. 3-car Bragg gets up beside Broadway Boy at the ditch, which will be the fourth last on the next circuit, but you know, look at the distance this camera is showing you between first to last. There's a really good gallop here to spread them out, and the more spread out they are, the less congestion there is, the less room for havoc there is.
We're getting towards fence 13 here. Your eye was drawn to Grange-Clare West in the Cheveley Park colours, also travelling well. That was Brave Man's Game.
In the red, he was. Nick Rocket is just inside. Just inside him, Senior Chief inside him in the light blue colours under Dara O'Keefe, beside Manila Cocooner. They was travelling strongly. What else did you pick up, Ollie, that was going
Brave
well?
Man's Game on the outside
Brave
in the orange.
Man's Game in the orange. He was going well on the James Ridley. He loving it, he was.
Great to see him
talked down at Beecher second time even. He had a really good chance, but the race does slow down a little bit now as we head to what will be the second last in the circus time.
At what stage are the jockeys starting? I know it sounds obvious, silly to say starting to ride a race, but at what stage are they starting to plan the later part of the race? Their horses are now seemingly, certainly the horses up front, in a rhythm.
Personally would think at this point, Charlie Deutsch coming into your shot here at the bottom and Cocoa Beach, they're planning the race. It's time to pull up. It's Intense Raffles is the same. That's about the only planning that's really going on at this point. There's 4 or 5 to the back to realise now their Grand National dreams are over.
Biggest fence on the course is coming up though, the Chair Ruby.
It is coming up, and the only one who doesn't really fly it is the horse in front, Broadway Boy. He's bowling away with Tom Bellamy, but he's the one that takes a chance in front. The rest of them, in fairness to them, with all the space, and it doesn't look like much, but with all the room between the horses, everyone gets a good sight at it, everyone gets a good look at it, and therefore they all jump it really, really well.
Coco Beach's 4th Grand National ended. He was pulled up at this fence. The eye was also drawn in the blue cap to Meeting of the Waters, who ran a really good race and in the end finished 5th.
He did finish 5th, and I'd imagine he'll end up in next year's top. I mean, he's just got out the top of your shot there right now. He doesn't quite get home. He didn't get home last year. Willie thought maybe as an 8-year-old he would get home now, but he didn't. And we've a few pulling up as they head out in the second circuit. Here's the water. Broadway Boy pings at Beauport, 3-car Bragg, Brave Man's Game. Again, the amount of horses that are jumping really, really well. Twig, poor old Intense Raffles, the ground was just too quick for him.
Monbeg Genius just left his back legs in the water a bit.
Slightly, but he didn't look to have much in hand. And like these ones at the back are really starting to struggle. If you're back here, it's not by design. It's because you can't be any closer.
Let's do it all again. Second circuit.
Then away they go, out in the second circuit. Jump Page. Royal Pagoi pulled up at the very back, so too does Intense Raffles, but not very much happens down this part of the track. Patrick Mullins must have been delighted with where he was on Nick Rocket. Jumped that fence really well. Micheál Nolan was having an absolutely brilliant ride on Celeb that end as well for the 13-year-old. Got a great tune out of him and must have really enjoyed what his experience. Hitman bowled away for Freddie Gingle. Horansu Dari there in the purple.
I mean, what a run from Michael Keating's runner. 150 to 1 Napier price, but gave him a real cheer.
Talk about a trail. You're heading down to the 3rd fence of the second circuit and you're 5th in the Grand National. Beauport just in front of you, and it was really, really good.
Okay, so out in front, Broadway Boy, Nick Rocket, the eventual winner, has just sat off them. Patrick Mullins asking him for a stride here, and he delivers.
He does deliver, and he's good at it. He's quick at it. Conflated is the next one, is starting to struggle at the back. So too is Vanillia. Iroquo's beside down at the bottom of your shot. We'll just pick him up as they land away. I don't want to put a marker on that because it'll jump out of the screen on us, but Iroquo's back here beside Meeting of the Waters. They're trying to sneak away, and Can Do Kid, his Grand National is about to come to a close.
Iroko actually saw the trip up pretty well in the end.
He did, didn't he? There's Can Do Kid goes, he brings down Appreciated. Stumptown has gone right of him. We can see it on the right hand side here now again. Broadway Boy misses. Look for Can Do Kid. Blue, grey horse, down he goes. Appreciated has nowhere to go, and Stumptown has to jump over them. And Harry Cobden jumping out of the way there. He's athletic, isn't he?
Absolutely, like a gymnast.
He is. Watch, but you see,
just get too close to it.
Yeah, he just got to be close. Caught it. The momentum takes over, and so too does gravity. Unfortunately, Sean O'Keefe has nowhere to go. He gets brought down and Appreciated. Watch Stumptown in the blinkers. Even though he should have tunnel vision, he's able to duck around. Look at Sean Flanagan looking down at Sean O'Keefe in the red colours. He doesn't want, as a rider, you don't want to hit another rider, and he's looking down hoping he's missing him, and Harry Cobden landed on his feet and caught Can Do Kid.
Beaches Brook, second time round. Meeting of the Waters makes a mistake here.
He does. Meeting of the Waters. You come into your bottom of your shot in a second. So too does Aya Maximus. He makes a bit of a mistake, and beside him is Meeting of the Waters. A couple of small errors, but nothing massive. But that's the pressure of the race. You've gone now to well over halfway. You're sort of 3/4 the way into the race, and yeah, there's a bit of pressure coming on. Stumptown at the back just wasn't his day, was it?
Manila Kakuna in the purple travelled well here, but just always when Johnny Bowe wanted him to run well, he just kept getting a few mistakes, didn't he?
He took a chance there at Fine Avon, which is not great. Watch him here in the white cap, purple colours. He just stands too far back and lands on Fine Avon, and all those small mistakes add up to sapping energy out of you.
Okay, moving on to fence 24, and Hewick makes a mistake here.
Yeah, Hewick is here under Gavin Sheehan. He ran a great race, but just made a mistake there, and that momentum just knocks the momentum out of you. And Horansu there, he had to go right to get around him really quickly. Fieldor was struggling. If you watch Hewick in the green colours about 6th, he's going to make the mistake. Right behind him is Horansu Derry, and to avoid jumping into the back of Hewick, he ends up going wide and right. Senior Chief, blue and orange, he got a great turn, so too the Brave Man's Game. Vanillia was struggling at the back, and then we jump on. We're going to skip Fine Avon and move on one.
Yeah, Broadway Boy took a nasty fall of fence 25. We'll give you news on him as soon as we get it. Hitman pulled up at fence 26.
Probably no surprise in that. He was going to get like appreciated, going to struggle to get the trip. But look, Brave Man's Game, 3-car brag. Celeb Dallane has almost landed upsides in front. Nick Rocket is 5 or 6 lengths off the leaders at this stage. But look, when we were watching this live, Ollie, we were looking back through the field. What's going well at the back? And you were looking back for Aya Maximus, who's starting to creep a bit closer as they go to the third last. You're looking for Nick Rocket, who's just in front of them. But they're 5-6 lengths off the leaders. Down the inside too, you have Iroko. You have Iroko here in the middle. Meter the Waters in the blue cap. Rachel Blackmore was drawing your eye, and Manila Indo in the maroon with the yellow stars. 3-car brag is dropping back through them. All these horses are moving forward together.
Is Patrick now already plotting his route through the horses in front of him?
I'd say Patrick Mullins is thinking, I'm going well, I'm heading to the home turn in the Grand National, I've just gone inside Hewick, Aya Maximus is outside me. He's calculating loads of things, but he's not thinking about the winning post. Grange Clare West has gone to the front, but again, look at the gap that opens up for Patrick Mullins. What a run he gets through there. I was too slow that time. But
Nick Rocket wasn't too slow.
Grange Clare West is in front of the second last. Manila Cocooner, Nick Rocket, Aya Maximus, Meeting of the Waters. At this point, Ollie, Willie Mullins has the first 5 in the Grand National as they head towards the last
He wouldn't know where to look, but his eyes...
Rocco, he knew exactly where to look. He's looking at one horse. He is like, there's millions, I hope there's millions of people watching this race, but he is like everybody else. He's a parent. He is looking at his son.
Did you think Aya Maximus here would get the better of him if they came to the elbow?
I thought possibly going to the elbow he was going to, but always in the back of my mind was the fact that he's only had 2 starts this season. He missed the Bobby Joe, and from here up, that's what tells. The Grand National is an absolutely stammering, sapping contest. Grange Clare West after making that mistake at the last runs on, but I can imagine Willie Mullins standing in the stand. And as I said, I know there's a lot of people watching this, but there's loads of parents watching it, and all anybody wants in life is to give your children a chance and give them every opportunity they can. My daughter's playing football for Kildare today, and I want to be there watching her, but I can only imagine what Willie Mullins felt.
I can hear the emotion in your voice, and you know what it's like to win this race for your father. You did it on Papillon for your father Ted in 2000. This year, Patrick Mullins winning on Nick Rocket for his father Willie Mullins. A remarkable training achievement, the first 3 home. Nick Rocket wins the 2025 Grand National at 33-1. Aya Maximus second. What a run trying to defend his crown. Third was Grange Clare West. Brian Hayes, 4 trainer Willie Mullins, 33-1. Fourth, the best of the British, Iroko, the 13-2 favourite. Fifth was Meeting of the Waters at 20-1. Runners 6-10. Well, Senior Chief gave Darrow O'Keefe a great spin. Manila Cocooner travelled well, made a few mistakes. That probably put pay to his winning chance, but he's run with credit. Hewick's run a gallant race in 8th. Manila Indo, 3rd last year, 9th this time around. Twig gave Bo Morgan a great spin for trainer Ben Pauling. Runners 11-15 include Brave Man's Game, who travelled really well for a long part of the race, and Horansou Dairy for Michael Keeley, trained in Newmarket at 150-1. Some run that. And the 16th and final horse to complete the 2025 Grand National field was Chantry House. Special feeling winning the race for your dad, isn't it?
It's a magic feeling, but like all of Willie Mullins has achieved, and we watch him at Cheltenham, and we watch him win the British Trainers' Championship last year, and everything that he's done, and Jackie as well, because Jackie is a huge part of this operation. For them to put their son on a horse to win the Grand National, I'm delighted for them.
You saw it meant to Willie Mullins. Congratulations to Nick Rocket, your winner of the 2025 Randox Grand National.